The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys StoryLine, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys. Here's Nick Eatman.
What's up? Welcome to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette. I'm Nick Eatman. It's Wednesday, February the 25th. Again, we got that new setup. I'm back here. Doesn't change my look that much. I know it does some of the others. Chris Beam's been doing a lot of moving and shaking in this podcast studio, but it's gonna sound the same. May not look exactly the same, but hopefully we'll have same type of fun here on Cowboys Storyline. Most of my team is actually in Indianapolis or getting to Indianapolis as we speak for the scouting combine. Probably have a little case of FOMO there not being there. I don't go every year, but we got a lot of people there. So it should be a lot of fun, a lot of good information coming out of there. I know Stephen Jones has talked a couple times. Clayton Adams chatted with some of our people up there this morning. We'll have a couple of different podcasts from there, just kind of an update for you guys. We'll have obviously the draft show, and then we'll have another podcast from the combine, just guys coming by. Clayton Adams, I know, will stop by this morning. Nicole Hutchinson, Tommy Yarsh will be doing that. So Christian Parker maybe later in the week, Will McClay as well. So should be good stuff coming out of Indianapolis as always, not to mention Shoddy talking at the podium, and then maybe Jerry on the bus, which is always entertainment in itself. All right, let's go to our phone lines, 888-855-2297. Let's go to Irene is first. Irene, what's up?
Hey, good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I like that. Jerry on the bus versus Jerry on the yacht. Which one do you like better?
I've never been on anywhere other than the bus.
Fair enough.
But I would think it would probably be better on the yacht, but who knows?
There you go.
So.
It was the best draft we ever had. I feel like not ever, but it was best draft in a while.
Yeah, for
was
sure.
On that yacht. Anyway, that was obviously not what I was going to call. So, Brandon Aubrey, my boy, what are we doing? So I'll say this. Dylan is going to text something to text line because he can't call in, and he's going to go through not getting caught up in the money as much as the percentage of the cap. But, we were kind of going back and forth earlier with that, and that $10 million is like 3.3% of the increased projected cap, right? So, his thinking is, okay, that's not that much more than when Butker got 2.5% of the cap in, I don't remember what year, but a few years ago, right? It is, I will say, it's frustrating as a fan to watch this always, that not now we can't even just get, okay, the highest paid contract, we have to also increase it. But I understand his point, and I'm sure he'll go through it very well, that you're also trying to go along with the cap. But I don't want to spend 3.3% on him. I think it'll settle at like $8.5 million or so. That's under the 3. It still seems rich for a kicker, but he is a special kicker. So I understand that. If we don't get it done, I assume we'll put that tender on him. Do you think someone would pick him up for $10 million and give us a second? So that's sort of where Cowboys Nation is, at least Irene is right now. A little frustrated, but understandable, and there's reasoning to it. So
yeah.
All right, I'll take your thoughts on that.
All right.
Thanks.
Well, nobody's ever in the history of the league since they started doing those tenders. No one's ever done the second round tender. No one's ever lost a second round pick and signed anyone for that. I would think that you would definitely do that. I guess word is coming out with Aubrey that he's wanting the $10 million. I mean, I'd heard that a while ago. It was kind of more laughable at the time, but the Cowboys haven't shown that they changed that up just because people are asking for that. That this isn't new. I was talking with Derek Eagleton about this yesterday. This isn't a new concept. In 2006, going into 2007 season, Tony Romo had played 10 games and needed a new contract. And Peyton Manning just won the Super Bowl. And the Cowboys, I mean, they were negotiating, and Romo's camp offered, they asked for more money than what Peyton Manning was making. And that's not with the contract that they got, but that's where the negotiation started. So, I don't think this is anything new, but there's no way that you have to go that high. The Cowboys didn't go that high for Micah Parsons. They didn't do that, and they found somebody that would. But you got to remember, Jerry is a league guy. He does things his way, but he's also about the league as well. And you don't do contracts like that. I mean, it messes up the entire market. So, Irene, you're right about the that's crazy for a kicker, because it is. It is. I mean, think about it. When another team lines up to kick a field goal, I mean, don't you think they're going to make it? And they do. There's a guy you never even heard of. You're like, who's this guy? Is he good? 57-yarder into the net. You're like, oh, man, okay. He's got a strong leg, too. I mean, they're not all like Aubrey. And Aubrey is fine. I mean, he's two-time, all-pro, I guess, and he's made 3 Pro Bowls now in 3 years. I mean, that's remarkable. But the problem is he that much better than the rookie kicker that is going to sign with someone and make $1 million a year? Is he going to be that much better? I don't know. He may be a little bit more consistent, but that just seems like a pretty rich for me. So I don't know. I don't know where I stand on that. I'm not even sure I like the $6 million a year for the kicker, to be honest with you. I'm going to have to come around on that one. All right, Brian in Kansas City.
Good morning, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I was thinking about the difference between how easy it sounds like Javonte Williams' deal is versus, this report that's come out in the last couple of days publicly. You said you already kind of knew this, but, for the rest of us, it kind of came out more recently about Aubrey wanting that much money. But you think about just the dichotomy there of Javonte Williams. I think if you would have said a month ago, $8 million a year, yep, sign us up. We'll take it. He's a lot of people have pointed out he's dead center of the running back class in guaranteed money, average per year. He's between 14 and 16 in all those categories. So you'd say, yeah, a guy had 1,200 yards in a 16-game season. He didn't play the last week. And he blocks like hell. I mean, Dak's got to just love that guy.
Yeah.
So, it's just a dichotomy of, and I assume, you could probably shed some light on this, I assume that's a little bit agent-based, that, it's, probably some of what the player wants. Hey, I want to be in Dallas, get this done, versus, hey, I don't care where I go, just get me $10 million.
Yeah. Well,
so maybe you could shine some light on that, and I'll make that my question today, man.
It is agent-driven. I mean, obviously he switched agents, and he's got an agent that's a lot more aggressive now. But they don't hold any leverage. I mean, he really doesn't. So they can just put that second-round tender on him, and if somebody signs him, the Cowboys have the ability to match it if they want to. If they don't, they'll take a second-round pick, which they currently do not own. So they would probably take that and then go get another kicker. And that's kind of that has to be the way that they look at it here. I don't think anyone's going to pay $10 million a year for Aubrey. Remember, the Cowboys, they could put the franchise tag on him if they wanted to. Doesn't have to be for Pickens. They could sign him to this 1-year tender, for the second round restricted tender. Then they could go into it. And then they could franchise him next year if they wanted to. I mean, is he already north of 30? So, time isn't on his side either. So I think that they're trying to, negotiate here. And this is that's what you do. I mean, if you really want 7, I mean, you ask for 10, which is crazy. When you can get to 7 or 8 or whatever it is, but I still think all that's pretty high for me. All right. Let's Chris, do we have a caller or anything? Or if not, we can go to our first break.
No, Josh in Chicago.
Josh in Chicago. All right, Josh, what's up?
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Hey, so I didn't get to call in last week, and I brought this up a couple times, but in my life, I'm a criminal defense counsel, and I just want to give a shout out to Nate Noon. just for the part, all the work he's done since the adversity he's seen in his life. I think it's just
Right.
a testament to sometimes, I could rant on about the criminal justice process and everything else, but, I really like the way that he's carried himself as a man, as a father, as a grandfather, and the work he's done, and it's well deserved. So,
Right. As a colleague as well, like we definitely see that as well from him.
Yep. The next thing I want to talk about is Javonte Williams, man. I like it. I'm happy that he's back in the building. I'm happy that it's settled, that it was done quick, and we don't have to drag it out. Hopefully Aubrey can get done faster. But like you were just saying, I think you're right. I think this is all about leverage to some degree, right? And maybe he wants $8 million, and they're just trying to negotiate. So we'll just see where that goes.
Yeah, for
and then
sure.
The last thing I got for you is, we've been seeing some different people on the break lately, mostly Tommy. But like, when are you going to get back in there and mix it up with Derek? I miss the old days sometimes. I think you could double up one day.
Yeah. Oh, I could. But for the longest time, it was Brian and Vach. They don't miss shows. And so Vach isn't going to miss shows because we know why. And and Tommy's not. If he does it, he's going to be there. So they're covered. They're good. Derek and I mix it up upstairs enough. We're good there. So we'll see. I mean, we might have something in the works where Derek and I will be on the same show again, but it probably won't be the break. At least not for now.
Ooh.
But we'll see.
That Derek might come down to the StoryLine sometime, because that'd be fun to talk with him too.
We've had him on once. I think I think that was probably once more than he wanted to be on. No, it's fine. I could bring Derek on again one time. That's not what I was referring to, but we'll see. That's for another day.
Cool.
All right, Josh.
See you
Appreciate
later, man.
it.
Have a good one.
Yeah, I mean the Aubrey stuff. This is what happens at the combine. I mean, this is what's going on, and whatever happened. That story again. I heard $10 million for Aubrey. October? I mean, it was a while ago. And we just laughed it off, whatever. But you get to this point now where you're like, this is when the Cowboys might have thrown that story out there. This is part of the negotiation thing, and that's a tactic people use. They use the media to negotiate. Both sides do it, and it's probably happening here. I think most people, fans, whatever, the Cowboys probably are tired of getting their ass kicked when it comes to why don't they sign these guys? Why don't they sign Micah Parsons? Why don't they sign Brandon Aubrey? Why do they wait so long on Pickens? Well, if you would have heard way back in training camp, it's like, well, it's 40, it's 40 and a half, 41. Myles Garrett got this, and it's like, well, Micah's wanting 47. If that would have come out earlier, that would have changed some things, just like this does. $10 million for Aubrey? Wow, it's a little high. Yeah, it is. It is. What do you think Pickens is? And I don't know. I really don't know that number for Pickens, but I'm just saying it's different. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Cowboys were like, yeah, they're asking for 10. Report that. I'm not saying it went down like that, but it wouldn't be the first time for sure. All right, Randy in Texarkana is next. Randy, what's up?
Yeah, man. I can't stop talking like that. Yeah, man. How you doing, man? I just got back from my Caribbean cruise. I've been out of touch with reality. I got my February tan going, and I just got back in town, and much needed vacation, brother. Oh, that was nice.
I bet you walking around the Caribbean, I bet you stood out so much. Your accent, I bet that was you're over here trying to talk that way. Man, just be you, because I guarantee you they're over there. You left, and they're talking like you as you walk back on the boat.
I'm telling you.
They're like, yeah, the guys in the Caribbean are like, yeah, I'm a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. It's probably the lines you dropped. That's awesome. That's
right. Yeah, I just had to get caught back up with y'all and say I saw your story on the new coach, and I didn't know much about him before I left, but once I got back, all my phone stuff worked again. I watched the interview they did with him, and this might just be the off-season crazy mind thoughts, but gives me a vibe of a young John McVay as far as play structures in his head are going.
Yeah.
And the attitude of a Tomlin for Pittsburgh as far as how he's going to handle his players.
Right.
And if I'm right on either one of those, we may have gotten lucky and have a guy that we can hang on for possibly head coaching in the future, hopefully. That's just my quick vibe. I don't have a whole lot of information, but sometimes that first impression is what you kind of hang your hat on, and that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very similar to the Schottenheimer stuff, where you know when he was hired last year, you were like, well, you know, obviously he's got to go out and win games, and same with the defensive coordinator Parker, he's got to go out and stop people, you know, and that's what I wrote in my column, is that if he can't stop the Eagles, can't stop the tush push, can't stop the Giants, then it doesn't really matter. But here we are in February, and all you can go off is what you're hearing and seeing, and it looks pretty good, Yeah. And
well,
he's got that.
And I didn't
like
even
the
mention the Eagles part of it. You're right about that. I mean, we put a dent in their armor by doing that as well. So that'll work. And
that's a good rule change that the NFL made a few years ago because it used to be it didn't matter what position you were interviewing for. If it wasn't head coach, you couldn't move on. You could be a quality control coach that really only gets coffee and donuts, but you couldn't interview for a defensive coordinator position. But now you can. Now they've moved that up to if you are interviewing a position coach, interviewing for a coordinator, you can do that. So that's
so tell me what is his. I've heard he's already made 3 or 4 hires of his own. How does that seem to you? I don't know anything. I'm telling you, I've been off the grid, buddy.
It's a younger staff. There's no doubt about it. It's a younger staff. It'll be one that I think is very relatable to the players. Now that doesn't always. I mean, that doesn't always mean it's going to be good. I mean, think about when you were in high school. Did you see any 22-year-old professors, teachers? I mean, not really. So there's a reason why you don't have it that way all the time. But Shoddy pointed out he was 34 years old when 32. Sorry, when he was first a coordinator, and Christian Parker's 34. So there's something to it. I had a good conversation with Shoddy about that, and he was just no offense to any other coach that's been there or whatever, but it is different when you could relate to them, and as long as they understand, we like the same things, we kind of speak the same language, but when it's time to work, I'm asking. This is what I'm going to ask, from you, and get the job done. So.
Yeah, and you hear a lot of the younger folks these days. They always talk about vibe.
Yeah.
He's got that vibe, and so hey, as long as they're vibing together, that's all we need. I don't care how old, where you came from, what rock you crawled up. Dude, win us some games, and you're going to be number one.
Right.
That's just the way it works.
That's the way it is. Yep.
That's the way it is. Sure. And hey, real quick before I jump off, Ali. You're my man. He knows why. All right. Love you guys.
Thanks for the call. This is awesome. All these we got like hidden, not hidden jokes, but just little references back and forth going to each other. Like, I'm sure. I feel like I'm that kid in class. Like notes are getting passed by me. I'm like, yeah, okay. Hey, that would happen to me. A girl like gives me a note, and I'm like, oh, thanks. And you're like, no, pass it to him. I'm like, oh, sorry. So, anyways, Ali, you're the man. You know why. All right. Chris in San Angelo.
Mr. Nick, how you doing this morning?
I'm good. What is up?
Hey, everything that didn't tie down, buddy. What I have is I love the Javonte signing. I was just going to piggyback on that. Because just as an example, like in Seattle, that Kenneth Walker – he kind of took over, the running back during the playoff and Super Bowl because the other guy, Charbonnet, got injured, right?
Right.
Well, the reason he was able to carry the load, in my opinion, is that he was able to limit his touches during the regular season, so he was still fresh. So what I was wondering is, how do you think they ought to approach the second running back position there? Do you think it's Blues to lose, or, basically I think they should bring in competition.
Yeah.
But do you think they ought to go free agency, draft, or like undrafted?
Yeah.
Just to see how you think they might approach that situation, because you're definitely going to need somebody. Because especially now with this new contract, that almost makes it more important.
Yeah. No, great question. Great references too with Seattle. And I'll speak to that. Chris, thanks for the call.
Okay, you betcha, buddy. Have a good one.
Appreciate it. I think you're right about the Kenneth Walker Seattle thing, as far as him splitting carries, and then at the end of the season he was strong. I also look at it. I don't think that's wrong. I think the two things can be right. I think that's part of it. I also think that when you're going into the game and you're going up against Seattle, you have to focus on the guy that won AP Offensive Player of the Year, Jackson Smith-Njigba. I mean, he's unbelievable. And I mean, he's not the biggest guy in the world. He gets open. And they got Shaheed, I believe, on the outside. He'll probably be a lot better next year when they really get him a full offseason and all that. But they have weapons. And they have weapons that probably scare defensive coordinators more than the Kenneth Walker. Nothing against him. He is a good running back. But I'm just saying, you're going into it, you got to stop these guys. And I think that's what happened with the Cowboys. I think that's what's going to happen again. And Javonte knows that. I when I say I caught up with Javonte yesterday, I really did. And Chris can speak to that. I mean, he wasn't like in a full sprint, but I was able to run him down for a solid 40 seconds maybe. Got a few quotes out of him. One of the things he said was when Jerry called him to congratulate him, he had a message for him. He said, yeah, keep GP. And, he wants to keep his boy. He also understands that the running lanes are a lot, wider when you've got CD, George Pickens on the other side. I think Ferguson feels that as well. So there's something to that. It's not just keeping fresh running backs. It's also having weapons around them that you have to account for. As for the backup spots, great question about whose job is it to lose. It's just going to be competition. And if Jaden Blue doesn't realize that this offseason, then it's on him. And it's not just Jaden Blue. It's any player that's going into their second year. This is when you're supposed to make a big leap. It's this year. You're supposed to say, all right. Last year I didn't know what I didn't know. Now I've got to get in here. You could start right now. And we've seen it. I want to see these players in the training table where we eat. I want to see who's here every single day. Who's here when, and we've seen it. We've seen a few wide receivers that, here and there that they're here all the time. They're here every day. And now, you get to training camp, and guess what? They're a lot better too. So we'll see if that happens. I think they want Jaden Blue to be that guy because he is different than Javonte. He'd be the fastest, quickest guy in the room. But if it's not going to be him, I mean, Malik Davis isn't going to give it to anybody. And then who knows what Phil Moff is going to be able to do. So I think if a running back makes sense in the draft, fine. If later in the round you're like, we really like this guy, okay, draft him. See where he fits into all this. I don't know if free agency is the answer there. I think because you have a kick returner, you have special teams guys in Malik Davis, you got your starter. I don't know if that makes sense there, but you do have some young players that are going to be fighting for it, and it'll be fun to watch for sure. Let's go to break here on Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette. We'll be right back after this.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for you. Gillette's Best Shave has a new look this season, and they've got one that's decked out in Cowboys colors just for us. We're going to want to run, not walk to this one, y'all. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor isn't just Gillette's best shave. With 50% longer lasting blades than Fusion, it's the best a Cowboys fan can get. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's Best Shave is also available as heated.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Altec Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's ALTECLANSING.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Altec Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
Welcome back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette. I am Nick Eatman. Wednesday, February the 25th. We're rolling right along here. Had a handful of callers. We've been talking, obviously, about Brandon Aubrey. I don't think I have a popular opinion when it comes to fans. What I would imagine is the opinion from fans about Aubrey. I like the guy. I mean, I like him. I mean, this is nothing about that. I saw him at the Super Bowl I was going to say a restaurant, but then again, I never know who the sponsors are or whatever. It was just right across the street from the media center, so sorry. He was, just walking along, and his demeanor is always kind of the same, which I think which makes him a great kicker. But I can't do $10 million. I don't even like these numbers up here in the 6, 7, 8 million, 9 million range. I mean, the Cowboys are going to have to really think about this one because, and I'm sure they have, but yes, he's been an All-Pro kicker now for the last 2 years. He made the Pro Bowl his rookie year, if they even called it his rookie year. It was his first year. The NFL came back and said he wasn't a rookie, I think, because he played in the USFL, but he's an NFL rookie. Anyways, he's been great since he got here. Have the Cowboys been great? I think that's the question. They won 12 games his first year. They had won 12 the previous 2, so he jumped into this and he's won some games. There's no doubt about it. But they won 7 games, and then they won 7 again. So I don't know. I mean, that's a tough one because you want consistency. You want a kicker you can rely on, and you can rely on him. His misses are like in the 58-yard range. You know what I mean? He's not really missing some 37-yard field goal, whatever. Unless you go to Washington, and he hasn't been great there. But for the most part, he has been lights out. But that number, for what you're probably going to get if you go the cheaper route, I just don't know if it's that much of a difference. I don't know. All right, let's go Joe. He's in Quitman, Texas. Joe, what is up?
Not much. I just had a novel kind of concept I'm going to throw out there and see what you think.
Okay.
Our defensive ends, he's talking about going to like a 3-4 concept or multiple concepts. If we take some of the smaller defensive ends that we have, like I was thinking Sam Williams, move him or try him at middle linebacker. Help on the run. He can also press at the quarterback, and he has the speed to do good in coverage. But I was thinking about something like that. You can still draft another tight end or defensive end or secondary. But what do you think about the concept of moving somebody or trying that?
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the call, Joe. Appreciate that. Yeah, this is the time of year when you're doing that, when you can have different visions for players. I don't know the backstory exactly, but I can. Man, somebody can help me on this one. But Bond from the Eagles, Zach Bond, I believe. I think they moved him from one position to another, and he went to Philly, and he was great. I'm not saying Christian Parker was the guy that did that. He was there, I think, to see that. But having a plan for a guy that that can do something different is always thinking outside the box, and that's how you become great. It is seeing something and go, oh, I can mold it like that. Sam Williams is unrestricted free agent, so when you were saying that, I was thinking you might say, well, could he be your outside linebacker in a 3-4? I don't think he's going to be an inside linebacker. There's a lot to it. I don't want to get into. I'm not talking about Sam Williams in general, but that position, the awareness has to be off the charts. I mean, you have to be the quarterback. You have to be the quarterback of the defense, and that's not what Sam Williams is, and that's not what a lot of these guys, these pass rushers, could be. I don't think Micah Parsons would be great at that. I mean, I think Micah could probably be great at punter if he tried it a few times, but I don't think that's his best position, and he didn't want that either, and a lot of that was tied to contracts and stuff like that. But he could have done it. He could have been good, but I don't think he would have been his best, and that's why he's playing what he's playing. But I don't know if Sam Williams, I don't know if that's the type of move, but I like where you're thinking, though. I like that kind of stuff. I think for him, that probably he would be more of your outside 3-4 linebacker, because he could rush and he could cover. And remember, he's blocked punts, so he's got some agility to him. It'll be interesting to see where he fits into the free agency, even if it's not with the Cowboys, kind of what his position would be. But I think a 3-4 outside linebacker makes more sense for him. I'm not saying it's here, but it could be. All right, let's move on here. What we got next? Chris in Saratoga Springs. He's been holding a little bit. Chris, what's up?
Not much, Nick. Just trying to dig out of the snow again up here in New York. I'm ready for spring. I'm done with winter.
Don't know anything about that.
Yeah, exactly. Just want to say, I love the Javonte Williams signing. Fantastic. I'm so glad they signed him. I think we're set, to be honest with you, at running back. I think with Blue there and Maffa. Maffa's more of a Javonte Williams type, the size and speed of him, so we have him as a backup, and Malik Davis as well. So I think we're pretty set at running back, to be honest with you. As far as Brandon Aubrey, that's a lot of money, and my opinion, I'm not giving him $10 million a year as a kicker when we can sign one for 3 or 4 and do a pretty decent job. I wouldn't mind signing him. I mean, I think the highest paid is like 6.5, right around there. If they want to give him a hair over that amount, I'd be happy with that, but definitely not in the $8, $9, $10 million range. I wouldn't be happy with that. So that's my opinion on that. I love to talk about the linebackers. We got 2 free agents I love. I want your opinion on who you would like. We got Nakobe Dean and then Quay Walker, 2 outstanding, when healthy, obviously, linebackers. And I would love to see them on the Cowboys, especially with the familiarity with the coaches for both of them. I would love to see one of those 2 on there. What are your thoughts as far as that goes?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on that. Ohio State guys, Georgia guys, bring them over. Yeah, those Bama, even especially with the defensive guys and all that. I know they've fallen off a little, but those guys can play. And I know it's different when they get to the NFL, but you said it best when you're talking about the familiarity with Christian Parker. I think having having a coach that's seen these guys practice and go, hey, I want to move him like this. And maybe it wasn't his role to do that as the defensive backs coach, to say, I'm moving him here. But I think that in free agency, having a vision for the player is certainly something that they need. Thanks for the call, Chris.
You're welcome.
Let's go to the Aubrey stuff. Get back to Aubrey. So the second round tender for him is a 1-year tender, $5.8 million. They give him that tender. If nobody signs him, then it's 5.8, and that's what it is. Now it's the same as franchise in that you don't have to keep that. You can sign. I mean, it's like more of a placeholder, and you could sign him to a long-term deal. You can continue to negotiate. You also, if somebody does sign him to a deal, let's say they sign him, they say, we'll pay you $7 million, $8 million, we'll pay you 10, whatever it is. Well, they have to give the Cowboys second round pick if the team chooses not to match. Now, the other tender there is a first round. They could do that at $8.1 million. That would be, he probably wouldn't be as upset by that. If the Cowboys, let's say that they're offering 8 and his campus is firm on the 10. Well, that might be an option too. Say, well, we're offering you $8 million a year. We'll do it for 1 year. If the first round tender, no one's going to probably give him a first rounder for that either. And then we'll see what happens from there. But the more this kind of is processing to me, the more I'm like, I'd be looking at other options here. As good as he's been, I just think that you could spend money in other ways and you wouldn't see that much of a change. You don't have to be kicking 60-yard field goals, 59-yard field goals all the time. It's nice to have, but I think it's hurt the team at times too. I think it's hurt some of the play calling of knowing that you've got a guy that can make that. We've seen it. He misses. He can miss at 58 yards. He can miss the 60-yarders. And that's not easy. That's not a great field position to be given to your defense when that happens. I'm not trying to pick holes in his game. He has been amazing, but this number is off the charts, and it just doesn't seem to make the most sense there. So, all right, let's go to Eric in Arkansas. Eric, what's up?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Well, you see that score yesterday?
What score?
Arkansas State.
Oh, yes. Tuesday baseball. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I did see that. Congrats. When's the parade? Is it going on now in Jonesboro? Do they have a parade going on for winning a Tuesday baseball game? That's cool. All right.
No, but I did
see that. Yeah. It looked like it was batting practice over there.
Yeah. I had to agree with you, man, because for the Aubrey thing,
yeah,
I can't. We can't go 10 million. We need to find.
Yeah.
If the rumor is true, we offer 7.5, which is higher than the paid kicker. I think the kicker in Kansas is getting 6.5.
Right.
You're asking 10. We can't do that. Draft the kicker in the 7th round or something. We can't do 10.
No. And
I totally agree with your points about, I think it kind of handcuffed us. We depended on 60-yard field goals.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't 60-yard is good, but I don't want to use that as a weapon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want us to get comfortable with, okay, at least as long as we get to the 50, we can kick a field goal.
Right.
Our offense should be too high power to depend on that.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I think from the Cowboys' standpoint is listen. Harrison Butker would probably love to kick half of his games at AT&T Stadium, as opposed to, Arrowhead where it's, this swirling wind and stuff like that and it's cold and it's not the easiest place to kick either. So, again, I don't like how this is sounding. This isn't going well for me. It seems like I'm really anti-Aubrey. I just think that they have to be smart on this and they have to kind of hold firm. They're offering him to be the highest paid kicker in the league. Yeah. Then that's where it should be. And if Jared already showed it. He's not going to.
You know what vibes I'm getting? I mean, cut you off. You know what vibes I'm getting?
What?
I'm getting this last negotiation that the person went to Green Bay vibes.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't, and I'm not a math major, but they were offering 41.5.
Yes.
40 was 40.5 was the top. They offered 41.5. He wanted 47. So this is very similar to that.
I'm getting the same vibe.
It's even way worse. I mean, it's even way higher when you think of percentages, because 41 to 47, that's not even close to like 100%. But think about 6 million to 10. I mean, you're getting close to double. You're not doubling, but I mean that's insane numbers. For the market.
I totally agree.
No.
Yeah, I totally agree. But
again, this is why we're over here talking about it. Oh, this is crazy. When it's probably one of those things where the Cowboys are like, yeah, what are you thinking here? And they're like, 10? Oh, 10. Okay. All right. Well, we'll call you back. And then it's like, all right, no, let's get serious here. And maybe that's not really serious. Maybe they are. We'll see how long this goes. But I think offering him the contract as the highest paid kicker in the league, knowing that somebody will jump that and all that, that's the way it works. But to do it at 10, it's that's what the Raiders did for years. That's what the Raiders do. And then what happens is then you do that with Aubrey at 10, and then there's a kicker out there that's not half as good as him, and I'm not even going to name a guy, but he's up for a contract and he's been okay, and he's like, well, if Aubrey's getting 10, I should be getting 8. I'm like, no,
now you changed the market.
No.
You've
messed up the entire market. So
you changed the market.
Yeah,
I totally agree because.
Well,
appreciate it. Nice call.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Good luck with those Red Wolves over there. If you guys don't know what he's talking about, he's an Arkansas State fan. There's about 50 in the state of Arkansas. Sorry, and he's Arkansas State. Most of them are Arkansas fans, and they have a good baseball team. But apparently, they lost a Tuesday night game, middle of the week, which most major programs don't really care about their midweek baseball, but they should. And then you get beat by a team in state, and you got people in Dallas calling in, and talking crap. Anyways, still basketball season in my mind. All right, Isaac in Amarillo. What's up, Isaac?
Mr. Nick, hope all is well, sir. Thanks for being on the phone today. Always good to hear you.
Yeah, thank you.
I know, yes, sir. I know everybody's kind of talking about Javonte and Brandon Aubrey, so I don't want to go there. Everybody's had a lot of good commentary and good answers from you. The thing I was thinking about just with my wife the other day when we were driving, I was thinking about the 2014 season, and maybe everybody remembers it for, of course, the Green Bay game in the playoffs. Dez caught it, didn't catch it, whatever.
No. He caught it. He caught it. Let's don't put that out in the universe. He caught it. We all know he caught it. All right.
You said it, sir. You said it. That was our ring. It was our ring. It really was. The Detroit Lions playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there were so many storylines from that game, sir. Of course, we had lost to the Lions a couple times in, I think, 2011 and 2013, the Megatron game, the comeback game. I just wanted to ask you, do you remember, like, a specific, I don't know, like this storyline? Maybe it was Tony Romo back in the playoffs, or can the Cowboys handle the moment? I'll take your call off the air. I just wanted to hear your thoughts from that week.
Hold on. I have a question for you. You say you're driving in the car and you're talking to your wife about this. Is she caring at all about this 2014 game, or is she just kind of letting you talk here, or how does that work?
She just lets me talk. I think throughout our entire marriage, these moments happen. Because I think it was Super Bowl weekend. I was just like, man, love. The closest we ever got was 2014, and like watching that game. and watching Tony Romo throw that touchdown pass to Terrence Williams, and she's just like, yeah, that's so cool. And I'm just like, well, okay, let me ask Nick next week.
So you're asking me if I have a memory about that game in Detroit or versus the Lions?
Yep, like just what, like did anything stand out from that week? Like just what stood out? Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for the call. You know, you're so right, because when you think about that season in the playoffs, it's easy to just Packers game in the divisional round, but they were very fortunate to win that game against Detroit. There were some interesting calls everyone remembers the calls that go against the Cowboys, but I think the Lions were probably really upset with a call, if I remember, something with Hitchens. Was a pass interference that they called, and then all of a sudden said that they wasn't pass interference. Something like that kind of led to the drive that the Cowboys had, and of course, big story about Y option with 4th and 6, and Witten making a play and to extend that drive. Then of course the touchdown to Terrence Williams, that led to Romoing, his Superman like celebration on face down. But Terrence Williams, if I recall, had another touchdown in that game, like a 75-yarder that kind of kept them going in the game. So it was just one of those seasons where the Cowboys were rolling at the end of the year, and I think most people thought that game was going to be a little easier than it was. And Lions came to play, and they took it to the Cowboys, and probably thought that they should have won that game. So, it's one of those things where it's easy to look at the Dez catch game, and he caught it and all that. To me, it's about you've got to be way better than all of that to make it to the Super Bowl. You can't just be like, well, you got to break here, because if you get a break in the wild card round, probably not going to get it on the road in the divisional round, and that's sort of what happened. You've got to make your own breaks, and of course that Dez game, the Dez catch game. There's so many things that could have happened, that they could have won that game in other aspects of it as well. All right, let's go to JR in Avondale, Arizona. JR, what's up?
Good morning, Nick. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm not dealing with snow like so many of these folks are, so this is a good thing. Hey, 198 days to the first Sunday of football. We were below the Mendoza line, so that's a good thing. So just to keep everybody posted. I don't want to talk about Brandon Aubrey because I'm in the same boat as everybody else. Don't want to pay the guy the kind of money he's talking about, and I don't think that they will. Kickers come and go unless you're Nick Folk, who just seems to just keep kicking. So, you see a guy in Jacksonville. But the thing about Aubrey, and I said I wouldn't talk about him, and here I go. The guy in Jacksonville is kicking a 70-yarder in preseason. He makes the record. But at the end of the year, he fades, and he's missing a lot of kicks. And that's the thing about Aubrey, man. His consistency is something that's hard to find. So good luck to Aubrey on getting the deal, and good luck to the Cowboys on signing him. But I hadn't had a chance to talk about the coaching staff. I love this coaching staff. Just has such a different feel. I've been a Cowboys fan my whole life. And last time I felt like this is when they hired this college coach, and he brought all these college coaches with him, and everyone was laughing about it. But they weren't laughing when they were kicking everybody's butt. So I just have a great feeling. It's a different young coaches. I can never remember so many African-American coaches. It's just such a great feel that I think he's got a lot of like-minded guys. I think when you interview, you hire people that talk about the same things you want. I've interviewed a lot of people, and before you tell them what you want, you ask what they're looking for and what they're planning to do. And if it's what you want to do, you found the kind of right person. Right. So I'm happy, really looking forward to that. And last thing I'll throw out there is the running back. I think Phil Moffitt is going to play a big part of that. And I'm not a Clemson fan for whatever reason, but watching the guy in college before his last year, he's a beast. And I think he's going to, if he can stay healthy, I think he's a guy that's going to can spell Javonte, and I know we talked about earlier him not having so many carries. I think Phil Maffa is a very physical runner. I think he's going to show up this preseason. So anyway, That's all I got. Thanks for taking my call. Have a great day. Go Cowboys.
Thank you. All right, good stuff. Maffa was my pick last year to lead the team in rushing yards in the preseason. I just thought he'd be that kind of guy that would get a lot of carries in the second half of games, and he got some. I think he got banged up a little bit too, and they wanted to get Jaden Blue some reps, and they picked up Malik Davis. He wasn't even at camp to start with, and so Malik Davis is a good story though too, and I don't think anyone really cares where it comes from as long as you can get a quality backup. And, he I don't know, there's something about his journey and now how he's worn like 4 different numbers, I think, with this team. And I mean, he's been cut, he's been practice squad, he's been elevated, and he's got his moment at the end of the year, and he was a really good player for this team, and a really good backup. So that's kind of where the bar is. And if Maffa and Jaden Blue are gonna be better, I think Malik Davis is what he is. I'm sure he'll say, yeah, I got improvements to do and all that. But that's probably what we're gonna see out of him, which is good. It's good as a backup. Jaden Blue and Maffa, they're gonna have to be better than that. So I think running back, they're in pretty good shape there. I think that. All right, let's go to Armando in Mexico City. Armando.
Nick, how are you?
Good.
Morning.
How are you doing?
Good. Long time.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah, this once a week thing again. It's not my favorite, but what are you gonna do? Huh? I think we're gonna send Irene to talk to Derek to try to get more something like that.
Well.
So.
When Derek makes up his mind, I mean, it is what it is. It's not just about our show; it's all the shows, and it's doing some, getting a little bit of rest, and also, I mean, who's tired of talking about Brandon Aubrey already? And this show's been going on for less than an hour. You do this every single day. I mean, there's just not a lot of things that happen. You do it during the season every day because you got a game and practice, stuff like that. But when you're just all talking on the same news every day, I don't know. I'm kind of with you. I miss you guys. I wouldn't mind doing 2 shows a week, but I think for now this is what it is.
Yeah, I know. I understand. So I'm a little disappointed that the Cowboys are not coming to Mexico. We're going to Brazil, but you're gonna have a great time there. Have you been to Brazil before?
I have not. If the Cowboys haven't gone, I haven't gone. That's.
Oh, okay.
That's actually. I hate to say it that way, but that is my vacationing. Is through the Cowboys.
Oh, okay.
They take me to California every year, and yeah. I've been to Japan. I've been to Mexico City, London.
Oh, okay.
Canada.
You have a great time there anyway. The one thing is that you're getting the 49ers again, so that kind of sucks. But I'll be there anyway, so
yeah,
we'll see.
All right.
Well, Nick, I just wanted to say hi, and we're here still following you every week until the season starts.
All right. Well, appreciate it. Thank you so much for the call, and we'll be ready to go. We'll hear more from you when we get closer to the season. But keep calling anytime you can.
Of course I will.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks for the call. We're going to go to break. Our lines are open right now, so if you want to get in, this is the time. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back. We'll have maybe a few more minutes if we can get some calls. We'll be right back here on Cowboys Storyline.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
We got big personalities. We got big hair, big belt buckles. We got fans all across this big state and enemies in every other one. We even got a big star on the 50-yard line. Smirnoff knows football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks home or away, we rally together, we cry together, and we always rally cry together because, most of all, we got big love for them boys. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, back here on Cowboys Storyline. We'll take a few more calls here. We're going to go overseas again. Mike, Birmingham, England. What's up, Mike?
Hello, Nick. How are you doing?
I'm good. You?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Sorry, it's been a while. This time is not working for me, but you can't please all the people all the time, so that's fine as long as a lot of people can get in.
Well,
Nick,
hold on. This is about the same time as we always do it. I mean, maybe 30 minutes earlier. We still have. I mean, did something change on your end?
Well, Wednesday is the day we have our staff meeting after work. So during the season, you'll rarely get me on a Wednesday. So yeah, when you said Wednesday at this time, it's about the worst it could be. But that's fine.
I'm
I
sorry.
still enjoy catching. Well, it's Eric's fault. It's not yours.
Don't you hate when work gets in the way of like doing the things you want to do?
Well, Nick, I'm 50, so I reckon I've got about another 10 years of this, and then I'll be calling you every day. So there you go,
Mike. I'm almost there. I'm almost.
Well, you can't retire.
No, but I'm almost in the club there. I'm getting there.
Yeah. So because it's been a little while, just got a couple of little bits of housekeeping. So first of all, did you see which soccer club Snoop Dogg has adopted as his soccer club? I thought you might be interested.
Swansea,
yes. So that's two of you now.
Right, yeah. And I actually play what is it called, FC 26 or whatever on the Xbox. Yeah, I got a couple wins with Swansea, so they're in the game. So I'm in. Yeah.
Well done.
So when Chris doesn't jump in and play on Fortnite with me, then I switch to soccer. You know.
Yeah. Getting to Cowboys, you had a call, and I'm going back months now, but it's stuck with me, and I've not had the chance to reference it.
Okay.
I think the guy's name was Joe from Fort Worth, and he was a first-time caller, and he was asking about things that a Cowboy should do. I think he'd just moved to the area, and he was asking about things that a Cowboys fan should do in the area. And having visited for the first time, I've got 4 things. Number 1 and number 2 is do both of the tours, do the stadium and do the training ground. Absolutely fantastic. And I want to shout out Julie at the Star and Carla at the stadium. Brilliant tour guides when I was there. So do that. The third one is Saltgrass Steakhouse in Arlington. Have you ever been, Nick?
What's it called?
Saltgrass Steakhouse.
Saltgrass?
Yes.
Yes.
Ah, awesome. I've had steak all over the UK and Europe, and that is by a distance the best steak I have ever had. And the fourth one is get in touch with Sergeant Sue and go and hang out with him. Those are the things that a Cowboys fan must do over there. The only other thing I wanted to say, because it's a little bit slow news-wise, it's sort of the calm before the storm, isn't it, of free agency and draft and all of that. But Javonte Williams, I am absolutely delighted. That was my number one, even before Pickens. I am so glad that guy is sticking around. One more thing, the Commanders have got a home game in London, so I think that gives me a 1 in 8 chance of getting the Cowboys over here. So if you could have a word with Roger Goodell on that, then that would be appreciated.
Okay.
All right.
Appreciate it. A lot of good stuff there.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
All right. Well, I don't know what to think about those 4 things. I mean, of those 4, I've never been on a tour at the stadium. I'm sure it would be interesting. I mean, that place is 15 years old, and if I don't, if I'm not paying attention, you can get lost in there still now. And I've been there several times. So I bet a tour would be cool. I feel like I'm part of the tour sometimes here, just because
you are.
It's right outside of our office. We hear it. I don't think I could do the entire tour, but I know there's certain parts of it I could definitely do because I've heard the script so many times. So yeah, the tours are great, but I haven't necessarily been on them. I have been to Saltgrass this year a couple times actually. So yeah, I mean I don't know if it's life changing, but I get it where I think I've had better, but it's solid. So especially if you're from Birmingham, England, you come over, it's very Texan like. So, and then I have hung out with Sergeant Stu, not in Texas, actually in California, and yeah, that guy's the best for sure. All right, let's go to. We got a couple more callers here. Brian in Kansas City coming back for more.
Yeah. Well, when I heard you say you wanted to go a couple more minutes, I had a trivia question that I forgot to throw in last time. So I thought I'd throw it in and I'll hang up so get another couple of people in.
Well, Brian, you don't even know what you just did by calling again, and I'll explain it maybe in a week or two. But by calling, that was a big call for you, big time. So good.
Oh no.
Yeah, good stuff. What do you got?
I'm in the hundreds or the thousands or the 10,000s because I called in on your very first show.
Did you? Okay.
I can only imagine how many it must be because half of that time I've been retired. So it's been a lot of calls, man. Hey, my trivia question is, I don't know the answer, so I'm not going to stay on the line. I didn't have time to look it up. Can you think of the last time we lost somebody that we tendered? I'm not saying we're going to tender him, but I'm just saying I can't remember the last time we lost somebody that we did a tender on and got the draft pick back. So yeah. I thought I'd throw that out there. I'm sure you know the answer.
No,
if it ever happened or not.
I really don't. I feel like it's way back in the early 2000s or something like that. I can't even recall that happening. I'm sure it has. But I don't remember. It seems like the guys that they tender are the original draft, the guys that you didn't draft, and so you don't get anything for them really. I don't know. Keith Davis comes to mind, but I don't think they lost him. He came back. He played several times. It's a good question though. I wish I had an answer for you. I do not. Let's go one more. John. My screen's messed up. Is John from Corpus Christi? Is that right?
Yes.
John, what's up, man?
Hey, Nick.
How you doing? All right, John.
Nick, you there? Or John, you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, Chris. I'm here, but I listening to the other talking.
All right. I don't want to end the show that way. If you're shooting baskets, Chris, you can't just go off an air ball. You're like, oh, I'm good. You got to make a swish. You got to have a good one. So maybe we can have another call back or something there, somebody else, or we can get John going here. But I don't really want to end the show that way. And that's where I guess I'm seeing. That's what Mike in Birmingham was talking about. They just announced I'm seeing here on NFL Network, the Washington Jaguars game.
I got a caller for you.
Okay, that's fine. Is that new, the Washington Jaguars game?
Yes, it just got announced.
Oh, okay.
Jacksonville's going to play, and Washington's playing at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as a home game.
Oh, right. Jacksonville owns that. It'll be all Jacksonville fans.
No. Jacksonville has a game, and then Washington has another game. So they haven't announced the matchups yet. They're not playing each other.
They're not playing each other. Got it.
Correct.
All right, what do we got? Who's on the line?
We got Corey in Frisco.
Corey, what's up?
Hey, Nick. How you doing?
Good.
First-time caller.
All right.
But I listen almost every time the show's on. Hey, big Cowboy fan, of course.
Okay.
My concern is, you look at all these mock drafts and all the talk about the drafts coming up is defense. And I agree. Defense was awful this past year and needs improvement. But I keep going back to what Jerry said, I don't know, a few years ago when I think, don't quote me on this, I think the reference was building a team or constructing a team is like holding Jell-O in your hand. Once you think you have a hold of one side, it seeps out the other side. And I don't think, to that point, I don't think we can completely ignore offense because nothing stays the same over the year. Yeah, our offense was prolific this past year and years past, but players get older, things change. You can't count on things being the same year over year. So when it comes to the draft, I think it would be, even how bad our defense was, I think it would be short-sighted to just assume that, we need 2 picks on defense. If there's a great offensive player there at 12 or 20, I think we have to consider taking that person. I can see, I love Javonte Williams, but I would love a more explosive back to complement him. And maybe that's Jaden Blue, if he can get things together. But maybe not. So I'm thinking if Jeremiah Love is there at 12 or 20 and we're wiped out with defensive players, they're all gone, I wouldn't mind taking an explosive offensive player. I think we can upgrade that tackle, running back, and tight end. So if any of those players are there and we're wiped out, I wouldn't be against taking one of those offensive players. I was just wondering your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the call, and you're right. Jerry loves that analogy. He said it several times about the holding the Jell-O, and you're right about the offense. You can't just assume, offense is great, you don't need to touch that. Every year is different. The good thing about it though is you've got younger offensive linemen that are going to continue to get better there, and you've got a relatively younger tight end. CD, I think, is right in the middle of his prime. And George Pickens is still, assuming he comes back, he's young. He's 24 years old, So, and Javonte Williams is, in his prime as well. And so there's reasons to think the offense is just going to get better. But to sit there and turn your back on the offensive players in the draft would not make sense either. So you are 100% right there. And I think you've got to take the best player. You just have to. And if it's an offensive tackle, pick him. If the defense, it just doesn't work, you feel like you're reaching, you can't get a trade partner to go back, and there's an offensive tackle that you have graded high and he would work there, go for it. He'll play. I promise you, he will play somewhere, and it'll make them better. And so I'm with you there. Tight end, you've put money in that position with Ferguson running back. You put money in there. Jeremiah Love, I just saw some highlights a second ago. And I was at the Arkansas Notre Dame game where I think he scored 6 touchdowns in front of me. So he's good. There's no doubt about it. He's really good, and he would be a great addition. But God, even if you think you're wiped out at defense, you really, there's no way you can be. You're gonna get somebody. You may not have the guys there that you want at 20. I just can't think that you're not going to have a defensive player for you at number 12. But we'll see. All right.
I have a trivia question follow-up.
Okay.
Cowboys have never lost a person they have tendered in a restricted manner.
Wow. In restricted.
Yes.
Nice.
Well,
or franchise. I know they haven't lost anyone in franchise. So
they traded one. Didn't they? No, he wasn't. No,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
He was in his 5th year. He got the Micah, right? We didn't franchise Micah.
Yeah.
We had a
right. All right. Is there any other callers? Because
we're done.
We're going to end it. All right. We're going to end it. Sorry, John and Corpus Christi. Sorry that didn't work out. Call back next week. We'll be here next Wednesday, and I don't think we have any changes in the schedule for next week. We'll do it again, and we'll see if we can get we got 15 callers, so good stuff. We'll see if we can do it again next week. For Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. See you next time on Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!